Hello, Riley. This is a long overdue video, so let's just get down to business here since you missed 1 week of lessons. So the last time we were actually working on pickup notes, and that was in the song in the book. It was right. No, it's not actually twinkle. The song that dealt with the first three songs that dealt with pickup notes. I just wanted to go over those um, so that we can. Okay, and what I'm gonna have to maybe use is my guitar since my ukulele is still at the studio. So just for the purposes of showing you um, fingering techniques, so you don't have to worry about whether or not these notes are going to sound like what you're going to play on your ukulele. Um, so the guitar is a kind of a funny instrument. Let me bring my screen down a little bit. So right, cool. So here we go. So here's something I think I told you this already about the ukulele. The similarities between the ukulele and the guitar. The first string, the second string, and the third string are it's not the same. They're not the same notes, but you can play. You can your fingers will look the same way if you try to play certain things. Like if you try to play uh like a major scale from here. The only difference is that when you do that, because I'm starting on the third string, one, two, three. This string is G, okay? As opposed to on the ukulele. So you on the ukulele you'd have four strings. This would be another string on the ukulele. You would have a tiny string, a little bit bigger, the biggest string on the ukulele, and then another tiny string right here. That's what you would have. The tiny string would be here, and then you wouldn't have these two strings. But the difference also is not only how many strings you have, but what the names of the strings are. So on the ukulele, this string, this first one right here, that one would be A. And then the other string that you would have would be the E string, which is this one. And then you'd have the C string, which is the biggest string. And then the other tiny string at the top, which would be G. We're not talking about the G's at the top now. We're just talking about these three strings, since most of what we are playing will be on these three strings. Okay. All right. Now, on the difference between the ukulele and the guitar, however, is that where you would find so this would be A on the ukulele, that first string that I just played. On the guitar, that string is E. So that's the difference. So this would be A on the ukulele. This is E on the guitar. This string on the ukulele would be E, but this is B on the guitar. And this string on the ukulele would be C, which is G on the guitar. However, just for shape purposes, I'm going to use the guitar and show you. So imagine that these three tiny strings right here, one, two, three, are the strings of the ukulele. And I'm going to show you. So on one of the songs you learned to play was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Let me play that on the guitar and show you what it would like. So that would be the third. Remember this? And you did this very well. What you did is that you kept this third finger down. So when you play the G, you did this. And you can also keep the finger down if you want. So you don't have to, right? Right? So on your ukulele that would be C, C, G, G, A, G. But like I said, I noticed that you developed a very good technique where you played C, and then you did the G on the second string, and you kept that finger down and played the A here, and then you came back for the G without removing this finger. That is good technique because it means that you're learning how to make strings underneath your finger play. It's a very important technique that you're going to learn in the future as you do more ukulele with me, because you're going to start playing chords on the ukulele, you know, right? Right? And that's going to be a very important thing to be able to do, to curve your fingers so that other strings can ring, right? So I have my first finger, for example, down on the second string, and I can also play the first string, and you will still hear the sound. See that? It's very important that you'll be able to do that you be able to do that. But we'll do more of that later on, right? So one of the things you were working on were pickup notes, and I want to just delve a little bit more into that. Pickup notes. So like I said, pickup notes, what it means by pickup notes, it means that you're picking up from somewhere that's not beat one, right? And all we assume that pickup notes work is when you actually are starting a song, in the last bar, say if you're doing a song in four times in each, which would mean that there are 4 quarter note beats in each bar. And I think by this time you know what quarter notes are, right? So if there are 4 quarter notes in each measure, um, you could take one of those quarter notes of the last measure. Let's say the last measure, the last bar where the song is ending. You would have 4 quarter notes. If I take this, the last one off, and place that at the beginning, you'd call that note a pickup note. So when you get down to the last bar and goes da 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 1 2 3 4, this would be a pickup note. This beat would not be at the end. You would put this beat at the beginning to start. Now what you would see is you would see at the beginning one bar with only 1 quarter note, and then the other bars will follow with the 4 quarter notes. That one bar with the 1 quarter note would be this last beat at the last bar. We went to this already, just to remind you, right? So let me see if I can find a song that uses that kind of technique. This guitar is a little bit out of tune, so I'm trying. All right, so let's do a song that starts with, so like I just did a while ago, a song with a song that's in 4/4, and there are 4 quarter notes. So there are 4 quarter notes in each bar. 1 2 3 4. 1 2, and you can play this, and you can have 2 half notes. 1 2 3 this way. Or you could have all 4 of them together as a whole note. Right? Or you could split each of these into 2 8 notes. Ta 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 ta. Right? All right. Let's do one in 3/4. Since there's a song that very popular song that it's very easy that I know you will know. And it's the birthday song. The birthday song starts on a pickup note, right? So here we go. Here's a pickup note. 1 2 G. So it's 1 2 3 1. That's happening over and over, right? 1 2 3, and then 1 2 3 1, and it starts, right? So listen to this. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. Well, if I 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1, right? 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. Right? So that's how that would work. So you start 1 2 at begin and B3. That's your pickup note. And in your assignments, I gave you a piece, I think, that started with 2 quarter notes in a 4/4 time signature. So there are 2 quarter notes, and then the rest of the song will have 4 quarter notes going right through the rest of the measures. In that case, you are starting on the third beat. So it's assuming that the first 2 beats would have been counted and the other 2 beats are played. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and you start after that 1, 2, 3, 4, play the rest of it normally, right? That's what pickup notes are. There's something I want you to, because you were doing the C, the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the ukulele. I'm going to introduce you to something that I want you to practice for until we see each other again, and that is the C major scale on the ukulele. So like I said, imagine, let me see if I can bring this guitar up if my camera was a little bit more clear, but so you can see my strings, or maybe I need to change the strings because the strings maybe would have been a little bit glossier in terms of color if it was new. But anyway, I know you can see 1, 2, 3. So imagine that these are the only strings the ukulele has. 1, 2, 3, and the fourth string. The fourth string on the ukulele would not be bigger than these strings. So where the guitar is similar to the ukulele would be this one, because if you notice, this string is the tiniest. This one not so tiny. This one yet bigger, and then this one is bigger than all of the three that I just counted, except on the ukulele. That's not the way it works. On the ukulele, this string and this string are the same size, the first and the fourth string. And then this string is a little bit bigger than this one, and then this one is the biggest one in the ukulele. So I want you to think about that. Eliminate this one. Don't worry about this string right now, not important, okay? So we're not playing any notes on any songs or anything on this string on the ukulele as yet. So imagine that this is all I'm doing. Don't count these strings at all. As a matter of fact, don't count these strings at all. When I'm teaching ukulele and I'm using the guitar, don't count these strings because they are not, there are only 4 strings on the ukulele, right? But now, since we are doing only the 3 top strings, we don't count, don't look at any of these strings. Just look at these 3. All right. So this is what the ukulele's C major scale would look like. So you start on the 3rd string, which would be your C is G for me, but it would be C for you. So open. Now remember, open string means that you're not playing with your left hand. Your left hand is not going to press anything down, right? So your left hand is not going to press. When I do that, none of that is open. All of that is on the fretboard, right? All of that's on the fretboard. If I'm going to play anything open, it means that this left hand is not going to be pressing anything down. So this is it. You're going to start on G for me, which is the 3rd string. If you notice the string I'm playing, right? That is going to be C for you. All right, that is your first note. Then the next note is going to be D, and that's going to be you using your 2nd finger, which is your middle finger, on that same string in the 2nd fret. And that would be your D, it's my A. All right, so your D, my A. So that is C for you, G for me, D for you, A for me. For you, this would be E. The 2nd string would be, well, yes, the 2nd string would be E, right? E. For me, that's B. Then the 1st finger on that same 2nd string in the 1st fret for you would be F. For me, it's C, but for you, it's F. And then the 3rd string in the 3rd fret on that same 2nd string for you is going to be G. For me, it's D, right? And then on the 1st string open, right? 1st string open for you is going to be A. For me, it's E. And then the 2nd finger and the 2nd fret on the 1st string for you is B. For me, it's going to be A sharp. And then 3rd finger on the same string in the 3rd fret for you will be a high C. For me, it's going to be a high G. So if I should play that scale without calling out my notes and calling your notes out, this is what it would be. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, when you're playing, if you're listening to my video and playing your ukulele, don't get confused if what I'm playing doesn't sound like yours. Remember that notes are different. It's just the shape of the finger that's the same. Okay? I can use the guitar to teach you because the shape is the same. You use the same fingers at the same place, the same places, right? Okay? So it's going to be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Then reverse that. C, D, A, G, F, E, B, C. Right? And this is where the book didn't go. The book didn't teach you about C major scale just yet. It started out by doing C, C, G, G, A, G, F, F, E, D, D, C, G, G, F, F, E, D, G, G, F, F, E, D, C, C, G, 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 F, F, E, D, D, C. Now, there's another thing that I want you to practice, which is I would rather teach you in person, and that is because this part, a lot of people, well, nobody that knows anything about string instruments will ever underestimate how difficult it is to use a pick. The pick takes a lot of practice. Here's what I'm doing here. Why it's hard to use is because you're moving down, up on maybe one string, and the strings are so close. It's very easy to play another string when you move her up. So if you do, you know what? Let me eliminate this guitar because it's a little bit too dull here. Yeah, maybe this is better. Yeah, this might be better. So if you notice, right? See this? If you notice, my pick is moving up and down. Now, why you have to move up and down is because when you're going to play a song, so when you're going to play things like that that require that you move quickly, you don't want to be doing this. That's too much movement, right? You want to be able to do. If I do, that's a lot of work. If I do this, it's no work, right? I wouldn't be able to do all of that if I actually did down, 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 down. So that's the reason. Let me show you. Not that I expect you to get this right now, okay? But if you don't, it's not your fault. This is what it's going to look like to play the guitar with the pick, or to play the ukulele in this case with the pick. You're going to put the pick on this part of your finger. Let me show you. So your finger should look like this, right? You're putting the pick to face away from the joint. So it's going to rest on this joint right here. On the joint, the pointed part is going to be pointing this way away from your finger. And then you're going to make the thumb sit on the pick, on the joint. So it's like this, right? See that? Your thumb is sitting right on the same joint where the pick is. So the pick is in there. You want to make sure that when you turn this hand to the ukulele or to the guitar, that the pick is turned. Look at this. See this? You want to make sure it's not sideways. You don't want it to look like this. See this? Because then it's hard for you. You'll have to turn it around, or you're going to be playing on the side of the pick, which is not good. This is not what you want. You want the pick to look like this. So you want to make sure the pick is turned to face the guitar or the ukulele straight like this. But when we come to class, I'm going to spend some time on that. That way, down up movements will help you. Now, the guitar is easy to get carried away on because there's so many strings and you have a lot of color you can get out of it, right? So it's easy to get carried away on. But so that's pretty much what I want to practice in terms of the major scale. So go back over the song with the pickup notes and work on those pickup notes songs. You were getting them nicely last time. What I want you to do is to turn on a metronome. You don't have to restrict yourself to a time. What I want you to do more than anything else is to set up a time count that is reasonable, I would say. When I say reasonable, I mean say the song is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can't manage to play it that fast, slow it down. All right, you can turn the metronome down to, where's my phone? I'll find the correct beat and I'll send it in Better Practice. I'm going to also upload this video in Better Practice for you, so you can practice how to keep the tempo in check. Okay. So work on the C major scale. So again, let me show you just in case. So G, my G. So let me not. I'm not going to call it my strings. So remember, you're only using the top 3 strings. Ukulele only has 4 anyway. So the ukulele would only have a string here, and it would not be a thicker string than the rest of these. It would be a tiny string. So don't worry about that. Just worry about these 3 strings. So you're starting on G right here. So it's not G for you. It's going to be C. So let me call it what's going to be for you. So C, same string, second fret with second finger. That's D. Other string open. That's E. Then first finger down on that same string in the first fret. F. Third finger down on that same string in the third fret. All right. Then go to the other string. First string open. That's A. Second finger down on that same string in the second fret. That's B. And third finger down in the same string in the third fret, that is C. So altogether it is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And if you notice, I keep my fingers curved all the time when I play. Don't worry. So if you notice, my fingers are always curved. They're always looking like this. And my thumb tends to be behind my fretboard. So my thumb is never actually like this. I don't hug the fretboard of either my ukulele or my guitar or my bass. Right? So make sure you're practicing that technique. Thumb behind here, palm not touching your fingerboard or your fretboard, and your fingers are curved and spread apart so that they can fit into each fret like comfortably. You've been doing a fine job down here, very fine job. So just don't lose that. So practice C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Reverse that. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. You don't have to play it that fast, okay? You can slow it down. And when you come to class, we are going to work more on the rest of that, okay? You're doing this very well. I'm so very proud of your progress. So hope to see you soon. All right? Bye.